Hello, welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Pedro, joined here with my co-host, Steven.
Hello.
We are Two Mics and Some Theories. We are a podcast that focuses on stories, specifically the ideas behind those stories. We try to ask questions that you may have not heard before to lead you to answers that you may not have thought of. So today, we have another special episode with another special topic. We reviewed and talked about some of the ideas behind The Matrix 1. Now, part of our Matrix series, we're going to do The Matrix 2 and 3. So, for this episode, Matrix 2, Reloaded. So, after watching the first one, we got a good introduction to the world, who Neo is, who Morpheus is, the different characters.
Fighters, yeah.
The AI that took over the world. We got a real good grasp on both on the characters, not so much more on the world. And in the second one, is it fair to say that we have now a better understanding of some of the characters?
Yes.
So in this one, what surprised you most about the second one?
I didn't expect for them to introduce like forms of paradox. Like towards the end, when he finally makes it into that room with all the TVs.
Wait, what do you mean by paradox? Well, can you define the word paradox for me? I don't know. And then explain to me what you mean by that.
Ooh. To give you the actual dictionary definition of paradox, I would not be able to give you word for word.
Or what do you mean by when you said it introduces us to different paradox?
So it's kind of like when there's... So in the movie, it just keeps happening, or he explains that it keeps happening over and over and over again. It's happened, I forget the exact number he gave of how many times it's previously happened, where Neo fails and they have to restart over to repopulate the population or whatever. So what I mean by paradox is it's going to happen again and again and again. And each time he'll maybe take a different action. Obviously, he doesn't remember any of the previous times, but he'll take a different action, but only to end up in the same place over and over and over again. So it's like a never-ending cycle.
Okay, I think I have an understanding of what you mean. And then when that scene was happening and Neo was with... What was the name of the person? They gave him some kind of title. Not the creator, but when he was with that person and that person was explaining to Neo, you have two choices. You can save her. I don't remember her name.
Trinity. You
can save Trinity, or you save the population, the human population. Then he chose Trinity. And then that led me to believe, or to think, was that the first time that one of the chosen ones has saved an individual, or has taken a route that was not to save the human population?
I think it was the first time he actually saved Trinity.
Saved Trinity, but what I'm saying is that the first time that the chosen one chose to disregard the humans and do something else to break that paradox cycle.
I believe so.
That's what I thought too. I thought he's going away from what the norm is, or what all the previous ones have done in order to save someone. In this case, Trinity. I don't know if in these other kind of... Would they be called... What's the term that Flash uses? Multi-dimension? Multiverse. So then can we compare those other chosen ones and their worlds or their dimensions as the multiverse?
You could see it that way.
You could, right? So then this dimension, let's say, where Neo is in, is actually the one where the human population is as from our view, the audience view, where it's destroyed, or where it's disregarded or forgotten, and the chosen one does something for himself, chooses a different action.
Love conquers all. Love wins.
When I was watching the movie, the first one and the second one unfold, I couldn't help but think of John Wick. Not because of Keanu Reeves. Of course, they're the same actor, but more in terms of the story. How, when we're watching John Wick, or when we saw it, I think we mentioned that every next episode or next movie, something new was being told. The world was getting expanded.
Right.
New characters were being introduced. That's how I felt about The Matrix. The world is getting expanded. New characters are being introduced. The story is really going somewhere. A new challenge. And in this one, the second movie, the big challenge was the AIs they're drilling towards... What was it?
Xenon? That's not Xenon. I remember the guy's name. They call him the architect. But
the AIs are drilling. It does start with the Z.
Yeah, right.
They're drilling towards where the humans are all localized in, and they have a time frame. I don't know if it was 24 to 48 hours. It was a really short time frame. So that was their big challenge in the second one. And it seems like the humans are, for the first one, it seems like they're on the run. For the second one, it seems like now they're on the defense. And I can predict that in the third one, they're going to go on the offense. Fair observation?
Yeah, based on the names of the titles.
Did you find out the third one? Title? What is it?
Revolution.
Oh, okay.
Very true, though.
So what else? What do you think? What do you got? Anything stood out to you? Anything you want to bring up?
Was it in the second one where they made changes to Agent Smith?
Oh, I believe it was the first one where Neo morphed with him, and by the second one it introduces him again, and he's essentially multiplying now.
He's multiplying, but they kind of like I think they explained it like there was a bug in their code, and they like patched it, so now it kind of gives them the ability to do that, right?
I'm not sure. What do you mean?
Or am I getting all mixed up now?
I'm not sure what you were trying to say, because it sounded like you were trying to say that, what's the computer world? The generated world? It had a name. The world that's created for the humans, the fake world where they're in the dream state. Didn't the AIs or the Prophet, they called it something? Is it called the Matrix?
It's called the Matrix.
Oh my god. Okay. Is it? I feel like there was another term. It is called
the Matrix. Oh,
okay.
We're about to enter the Matrix.
Okay. So it seems like in the second one, I don't know if you were trying to say this, but it felt like the Matrix became a character. Or in the first one, it was seen as like a location. In the second one, to me, it felt like now it's a character. And what I mean by that is that it's like tangible. Because when you think of a location, you don't think of like an object necessarily. You think it's a location is made up of trees and all these different things that all come together to make up this place.
Right.
And when we go to this second movie, I thought not as the Matrix as you go to this place and then it's made up of all these different things, but because you can kind of alter it and change it, and there's viruses and bugs, then I started to think about it more like something that's tangible, like a character. It's its own thing. You can affect it. You can change it. It can be harmed. It's constantly evolving.
Right.
So I was thinking of it like a person, something that can be, how should I say it? That can be influenced for you or against you. And I think a lot of the key characters, such as the Keymaker, and were people that AIs that were meant to be decommissioned, but they're out there and surviving.
That's where I was going with that. Now I remember.
Go, so you don't lose it.
Yeah, all right. So that's what I meant by when they were rewriting the code. It was with those, what were they called?
Oh, you mean like the Keymaker, like their programs that were meant to be decommissioned, but they weren't?
Yeah, so those programs, they got rewritten and everything, because obviously they became obsolete or they had no actual need for them.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, being fully erased, they were, I guess, hidden underneath some type of glitch where they were still able to, I guess, survive in the Matrix, right?
They went into hiding.
So I thought that was, I guess, a good. For some reason, I want to say like sweep, but sweep's not the right word. Like it's a good little side note thing that they added to the story. Like it helps build it.
I don't know what you mean by side note, but it definitely does help build it.
And then going back to you talking about the Matrix being a character, these programs kind of hiding in between it could also be seen like as its flaws that it's trying to maybe get rid of so it can continue to maybe evolve itself as a character or better itself.
Okay. Yeah, flaws or attributes.
Mm-hmm.
It can either hurt or help depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good comparison. Okay. And in this one, they actually did bring a new something that's going to be 100% expanded on the third one. The robot that was able, or Mr. Smith was able to take over one of the humans, and he was able to, in the Matrix, control him in the real or human world. And then when I first watching it, I didn't think much of it until I believe it was last week when Elon Musk introduced Neuralink.
Neuralink, I've heard of it.
So as soon as I heard Neuralink and read the description, I started to think right away of the Matrix and AI integration with human. And I didn't see Elon Musk's presentation. Just read some of the cliff notes. Read what it was about. All I know from the actual Neuralink one is AI integrating with human. Don't know exactly the details of it, but see where I'm going. It reminded me of the Matrix and the second one and the AI and how it integrated with the human.
It's funny. The day that the Neuralink got announced, I was training, and then one of the guys there, who's a pastor, he just screamed out, "Yo, the world's gonna end, guys!" I'm just like, "What the hell?" And he started claiming Neuralink is gonna be the reason. So I was like, "Oh, well, all right." How do you feel about the human trials, where he predicts the human trials are gonna start within a year?
Oh, that is short.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I would have to watch the presentation to see what are the benefits, what are the risks, what's the downside. Yeah, I'm not sure. Do I think it would happen in a year? Yeah, I definitely think there are people that would volunteer. I think the people to volunteer would be there. I just don't know if his testing period or his trial period will get approved.
I don't know. It feels like at this point he could do anything he wants.
Do you know what Cyberpunk 2020 is?
I do not know. That's the first time I've ever heard of that. But if I had to just make some type of educated guess based on what the 3 words that I just heard, Cyberpunk 2020. I want to say it's maybe some type of event set to take place in the year 2020. Maybe online or some type of format that requires you to be like some where you like access it through some digital source. And then punk maybe be like some type of rebellion just based on my previous context clues of the word punk and what the punks used to stand for. Other than that, no, I have no idea what it is.
It's actually a movement to plant a whole bunch of trees in the rainforest because of the deforestation and how paper is becoming really scarce, and we need more paper because without it, how else are we going to share our ideas? And it has nothing to do with that. No, it was could you look it up? I don't think it's 2020. Put Cyberpunk and then I think it was 20. I know it takes place in the future. 2021, 20. It's a video game, and I'll explain it right now. I just want to get the title of it right.
2077.
2077. Man, I knew it was in the future. So if you look at some pictures, and then I'll explain what it is right now. So Cyberpunk 2077.
There is a thing of Cyberpunk 2020 though.
No, I'm talking about the video game. And I bring it up now because the video game, it ties in nicely with the Matrix and the Neuralink, because in this video game, it's a story about individuals that are able to genetically enhance themselves because they're integrated with AI. So what they do is they imagine me and you, and we wanted to get a new arm or a new leg, kind of like in Unwind where they got children's parts. In Cyberpunk 2077, they're already integrated with technology. So if you want a new arm, you get a mechanical one, a robotic arm, and this robotic arm has a laser, has a scanner. They interchange their eyes to have facial recognition, to have infrared. You can get weapons on your back that kind of pop out and you just kind of get them. So it's an interpretation of how the potential future is if we integrate with AI, and how people would use and even abuse having all these modifications. I said genetic, but it is genetic, but it's more robotic modifications. Yeah, it's predicted to be one of the biggest games coming out recently. But we'll see how it does.
Oh, damn.
Looks real good. The gameplay looks amazing.
I just saw just a couple pictures and it looks... it's a still picture. I didn't see anything else. Yeah. Just the picture looks pretty tight. But, damn. So, one thing that confused me, you did say genetics. Maybe you didn't try and say that, but since it'll be integrated with AI and all that technology, does that mean like when a new person is born, are they already born like that, or they start their life just like a basic biological being, and then over time they enhance themselves?
The very direct answer to that is I'm not sure. And I did say genetic. I should have said more robotic modification. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I would predict that you're born human, and as you grow up, you have the option to get what they would call upgrades. Mm-hmm. Essentially, you're upgrading your body, making you tougher, smarter, more mobile. And you know how I think they showed in the first one, the Matrix 1, where Neo is learning how to fight, and he essentially gets all his skills very rapidly through some program. They do the same thing in Cyberpunk, where there's this, you want to learn some new skill? Pay up. So it's called, you were right, you know how you said punk means it's some kind of, what were the words you said? Specifically, troublemaker?
Oh, like rebellious type people, like that's the movement, what it was like.
Right, and in Cyberpunk, they focus on kind of the criminal world. Because it's a story, it's a gameplay, and you need your mission and goals. So it's focused on the criminal world, and you You see people with money, the ones that are, how would we compare them to our world? Like the big pharma corporations, the big businesses.
Right.
You see those in Cyberpunk, the big tech companies.
And then in sorry if you already said this, but in the game, you said with the upgrades, it's like a downloadable
skill
and knowledge.
Yeah, pay up though.
So like in the Matrix, you download a skill, like when they call and say, "Hey, I need a download for operating a chopper, a helicopter."
From the trailer, I know you can get locations and images. Actual skills, like you're talking more like an actual fighting skill or something like that. Did I say fighting skill? They haven't showed it explicitly. They just hinted to it.
Okay. Because you know how with the Matrix you can download skills or knowledge on how to operate or use the skills. Do you think Neuralink will be like that? It'll get us to a point where you can just download a set of skills.
I would want that, but then, because as soon as you said it, I thought in my head right away, then what would be the point of going to school and really learning anything? And how does that affect your thinking? Because I would think that by you trying to learn something, that you're going through the active process of learning how to learn. And by learning how to learn, you're also thinking, and you're building up your thinking skills by doing that. So I wonder if if you wanted to download something, that all happens instantly, or that's just taken away and now you have the information. Because then I'm kind of seeing it in a way of thinking is something that you learn by gaining information. But if you just get the information, are you even learning how to think? No. Maybe you are. I don't know. I would hope so. Because if you just get information in you, then it's like you're just memorizing. Is memorizing learning or thinking? Well, I suppose it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm only bringing that up because when the Neuralink thing did get announced, did participate in some conversation, in some discussion with my teammates over there at the gym, and they were like, the first thing that came up, like, oh, we can download all the jiu-jitsu skills into our heads. And one of the common things that was said was, yeah, you can get all the downloads, and just because we'll have the knowledge on how to do it doesn't mean our bodies would be physically able to carry out those actions.
Right.
So that could be, I guess, some sort of limitation. But then going back to Cyberpunk 2020, if you're already enhancing yourself with technology, you get that download, you get the physical enhancement where you can actually carry out those actions, then that'd be the way to go.
So then would we still, and I think I know the answer to it, but I want to ask you, would we still watch sports if that was the case, if that was allowed? Because I'm starting to see these enhancements kind of like steroids, but let's say it's legal. Those enhancements, anyone can do them. Would we still watch sports if they're not really struggling to gain these skills and they're just buying them or just getting them instantly?
I would like to say yes. I feel like sports would drastically change, obviously. But I still think there's still, even with all the enhancements, there would still be those people that stand out that could do things better than almost everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So people would still have that want to admire and watch them do their specific sport. So it's possible. It just might not be the same sports that we're accustomed to watching now.
Right. That's what I thought of right now. It would completely change because now we're introducing all these new things, and no matter what, there would always be what do people say? The Michael Jordan or the Kobe. Who else is the Tom Brady? Those people that no matter their chosen profession, they'll always be driven to be better than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Even though everyone gets these enhancements, they'll want to be faster, stronger, have the newest whatever comes out, the newest calves that make you run faster, give you the most explosion, and then
those fast twitch fibers.
And even if there was like a standard, like let's say in this world, body enhancements were all the same. There's a certain arm, there's a certain leg, there's a certain etc. There'll always be someone that can use it better than the other people.
Right.
And that's why they'll be
slightly
pros.
more compatible with their body than it would be with yours.
Right. They'll be able to use it better, and sports would completely change, but the people, the best of the best, the Tom Brady's and Michael Jordans, they'll still be there. It'll be a different sport completely, but they'll still be up there. And then the other pros, and then everyone else. Then the casual player.
I don't know, as football will go back to being like that real tough head first sport that it used to be. Goodbye, CTE.
But with that, you have anything else?
Nah.
Well then, sign us off.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate the help and support. If you haven't already, subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Like, comment, share. Let us know if we missed anything. You want to add anything? Do you agree or disagree with some of the things that we've just said? But yeah, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week with another episode. My name is Steven. This is Pedro. We're Two Mics and Some Theories. Peace.
Bye.